Now we'll move on to this week. Quickly, I want to go back and give a lot of props to Mark Richt and all the people at the University of Georgia. They played Southern University Saturday. A player from Southern University was badly injured, and the people at the University of Georgia moved right in, brought his family in, got doctors, and took great care of this family and this young man. And I don't know yet. Last we heard, he had not moved his legs, his lower extremities.
I haven't seen an update either.
Yeah, but that's the last thing.
Yeah, Georgia, and even to the point where Rick has said, if he needs some, financial help, that hopefully University of Georgia people will get involved.
Isn't that great?
So it is just really, really remarkable response. Here's a story. Fund established to help player injured in UGA game from the Atlanta Journal, just posted 4 hours ago. Southern University has established a fund to provide financial assistance to Devon Gales. And he stabilized fractures in his neck. He will remain in Athens Regional until released and returned to Baton Rouge for further treatment. So he's still in Athens. But apparently he has not.
Prayers are certainly needed. Yeah. Okay, now Georgia has a little bit of a breather this week.
Yeah.
According to the line you look, I look at something called Maddox Sports, and there's 7 different bookies that they pick up and use them. It's either a pick or up to 2.5, depending on what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. That's between the hedges. And Georgia is the one giving the points when there are points given. Now, they're undefeated. They're at home. Alabama has lost. And so, I don't know. What little I've watched of Alabama, they didn't look all that good. I watched them against Mississippi, and they just didn't look very good.
I've thought about this game some, and I think the difference in this game is Chubb and the Georgia defense.
Yeah.
I think the Georgia defense is playing at a pretty high level right now, and I just don't know if Alabama's got the offense to. I just think if I'm picking that game, I think Georgia at home, Georgia's offense, and then the level that the Georgia defense is playing, I think Georgia will win that game and virtually end Alabama's season.
Absolutely.
Definitely knock them out of the national
same as like Auburn is,
and put them in a pretty bad spot as far as the SEC West goes.
I'm trying to find some other lines that might be of local interest, and you got something there.
I do.
Some local interest lines.
Pick the games I'm going to pick.
Oh, are you going to do it for us?
Miami -6 at Cincinnati is an interesting. South Carolina, Missouri is giving 4 points. That line doesn't make any sense to me. I think Missouri's
they look pretty bad.
They're an absolute dog.
Yeah, they look bad.
I mean, South Carolina's not much better, but I think Nunez may have stabilized the Gamecocks some. So I like South Carolina there. We said we like Georgia. Georgia Tech giving North Carolina 7. That one makes no sense to me either. North Carolina has won 3 straight and can score. Georgia Tech has got some serious issues in the backfield. They have very little experience at running back.
The defense is not all that great.
And run all that triple option stuff.
Yeah.
If you're rolling in the wrong direction, you're running into each other. So I think Paul Johnson's got a mess. Kansas State, Oklahoma State giving 8.5. That's a pretty high line, but K-State hadn't played anybody. So I think the Cowboys at home, but 8.5 might be a little high. Let's see how that one goes as the week goes on.
You go to this the
this is the ones I haven't written them yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, I wanted you to do it. Okay,
I just picked the games.
Right. Okay.
Notre Dame giving Clemson 1. Now this has gone
back to a
and
pick 'em
forth.
now. Last I looked.
It opened at 2, and it went to pick 'em, and it went to 1, and there's so many offshoots in this. And you were talking about when I walked in the door, and we just get into this. And I heard some local chatter about this morning. It seems to be all about Notre Dame and how this game's going to affect Notre Dame, and there's not a whole lot of chatter about how this game's going to affect Clemson. Just like Clemson's an absolute waste of time or a bump in the road as far as the Irish go, and you could tell by some of the comments the Notre Dame players made that I don't think they're expecting a whole lot of resistance when they come down here. I think they're in for pretty much a rude awakening.
There's going to be some resistance.
I know that just like North Carolina basketball, every game that Notre Dame football plays is a big game, especially when you go on the road. I mean, it is Notre Dame. It is Rockney and the Four Horsemen and play like a champion today, and we all know the history, and we all have been beaten over the head with it by NBC, and we know.
And now ESPN too.
Yeah, and ESPN too. But I just ran through a list of questions I came up with. Can Clemson handle the moment? Can Deshaun Watson have the breakout game that will kickstart a Heisman campaign? Can
that really good defense and especially
can Deshaun Kaiser,
the
third-team quarterback who came off the bench at Virginia and threw a miracle touchdown pass to save them there, can he perform in the environment he's going to see?
Yeah, he hasn't seen hostile environment like this. And another thing, can Curse and Alexander and those guys on the back end, can they handle what's that wide receiver's name?
Will Fuller.
Yeah. Can they handle Fuller? They say, they can. But can they? Because he's not the only receiver they have.
I certainly hope they don't put in his backup, because according to the depth chart here, his backup's name is Equanimus St. Brown.
And he is from Samoa, maybe?
I don't know where he's from.
Utah's guy, the people get those Samoan players. And BYU.
They're Notre Dame. They recruit nationally. They got nice players. They got good players.
And they don't have dumb players either.
They're not world beaters. I mean, but you look at their offensive line, 315, 325, 301, 315, 310. Clemson defensive front, you go 275, 300, 295, and 270.
Got to be half a step quicker, though. Got to be.
You would think.
With those weights.
But the Clemson linebackers are 240, 250, and 210. So, I mean, there's some good size there in the front seven. Nobody is throwing at Mackenzie Alexander. Now, Notre Dame will probably try it. There's no safety in the country, 6'5", 220, better than Jerron Curse.
That's monster. That's monster for a safety, and he moves.
He will stuff the run, and I just dare him to throw somewhere near him. They will try and do what Louisville did, I expect, and that's go after Tankersley. But as that game continued and Louisville continued to throw at Tankersley, he handled it very well. He knocked it down. Yeah. He had an intercept. They didn't give up a whole lot in that game, and and again, it is so key if your guys can handle on the outside their guys one-on-one, because that way you can throw all kinds of junk at them
and blitz packages
and really mess with a third-team quarterback's mind, because he won't know where they're coming from.
Saw a thing about their defense, and some guy on ESPN, and I don't necessarily knock ESPN. There's several of those guys I like. This one man, I can't name him, but he was talking about that the middle linebacker for Notre Dame. His name escapes me. You might can find him on there.
I've got it here.
Okay,
all you got to do is ask.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Middle linebacker.
I think the guy they're talking about the most is Jalen Smith.
They said he is like having 12 men on the field because they showed where he covered the quarterback and the pitch man.
Yeah, he's got some speed.
All right, and I guess Georgia Tech, yeah. And then they showed some other things that he's done. Well, I don't know if he has necessarily seen. I don't know if Clemson's backfield is all that quick or not. I really don't. But I read another thing that one of their defensive backs says, well, they're not real quick, Clemson.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
And they're about as quick as anybody.
Well, and if I'm Clemson, I just let them.
They are.
Let them chatter. Let them carry on like that. Let them have their little superiority complex. And then Saturday night at 8:15 or 8:22, I think is what I heard kickoff time is. It'll hit them right in the face. I mean, I
hope so.
It will. But again, it's Notre Dame. They're used to playing in environments like this,
and they're used to getting your best effort.
Yeah. But I found it interesting. I saw a quote. I didn't read the story, but I saw a quote yesterday from Butch Davis, who said that Clemson is the only school in the ACC that has a SEC environment.
Yeah,
and it will be.
Yeah, it'd be.
It will be. It will be a big time environment Saturday night. It honestly will. It will be a. And if they get off to a fast start, it's going to rain down on the Irish like.
Speaking of that, what's the weather?
But to me, Watson has got to. He really got to come on. He's got to play like we know he can, and if he does that, then the nation will. Sunday morning, it's going to start flying. People will know who Deshaun Watson is, and he will enter lots of conversations. Looking at my long range here, we got 60% tomorrow, 60% Thursday, 80% Friday, and 60% Saturday.
That will affect something, and what it is, I don't know.
Afternoon showers, high in the upper 60s and lows in the mid 50s. So we're talking pretty, I think, damp and cool conditions. So who that favors, I don't know. I think you would like a little humidity and a little. You're not going to get any massive heat at night in early October, but I don't know who that favors.
I don't either because
driving rainstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, the I think the old saying is that rain is always an equalizer. But if you live off the run, you love to see the rain,
especially if you run a power run.
Right.
But as a friend of mine used to say, same weather on both sides.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure both teams are spending time this week practicing with wet balls and all that. So, but I just, we got Tim Bray coming Friday to the Anderson Touchdown Club, and he had a 32-page note package this week, and I went through some of the Notre Dame related notes that he has.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting. Of course, everybody knows about Joe Montana and Dwight Clark.
Yeah.
Last time they met at Clemson, those two were on the opposite sides. Frank Shaughnessy, who holds the Notre Dame record for the longest play of any kind in school history, was the head football coach at Clemson. And he also played Major League Baseball, managed a team in the Stanley Cup Finals.
No.
He served as a manager of minor league baseball in the Dodgers organization under Branch Rickey, and serving as president of AAA International Baseball when Jackie Robinson played in the league in 1946. Among his many stops, he was head coach at Clemson in 1907, leading the Tigers to a 4-4 record. But he beat a Georgia